we want from here is not only discussions, we have to make changes. We have to submit to parliamentary submissions, standing committees. We have to submit to, like how they argued, to the budget consultations. So all these arguments that we will gather throughout this competition will be channeled properly to where it's channeled to, and for us to expect an outcome in not in hopefully in a year's time, but in the next few years. So on that note, I'd like to conclude with the wise man that said that the battle is never over until you've reached a point where you don't have to fight anymore. On that note, I wish you again the very best and give the floor back to the mistress of ceremony. Thank you.
I would like to now invite our acting Vice Chancellor, the beautiful Shaista Shamim, to come and deliver a vote of thanks.
Thank you very much, Madam MC. I'd like to say thank you to the Honourable Minister for gracing us with her beautiful presence on this very special day, which is International Women's Day, not just in Fiji, but the world over. It is a United Nations Day, and so we celebrate it, as I've said to everyone, with great gusto and a lot of noise. And I think what you've seen today, this morning, that noise is going to reverberate in time to come. So I would like to thank everyone, particularly the University of Fiji Students Association, for taking the initiative. This plan was sprung on me just last week. So we very quickly organized ourselves. Thankfully, you know, some of women at the University of Fiji are very strong and very bolshy, and make sure you do that. And thankfully, everyone obeyed. So as a result of which we had this fantastic function and the event that was organized today. Now, I'm very glad that I'm not the judge in this particular moot, because it would be very difficult to make a decision as to who is right and who is wrong, or who will win and who will not win. The University of the South Pacific has come up with a brilliant argument, as has the University of Fiji, which says that, well, according to the judicial powers and justiciability principles, no court can order the government what to do. And I'm really not sure that this particular question, not just about domestic violence, but discrimination against women more broadly, is something that can be left necessarily to the law. It is very true that the community, the leaders of our community, particularly our religious leaders, every single person, the parents, every single member of society has a responsibility to eradicate domestic violence. It is true what the University of the South Pacific moot has said, that 49% of all crimes in Fiji are sexual offences, sexual crimes. That's half the population, half the crimes in our country. That is a shocking statistic. And for that, it's not just the courts that are responsible, it's not just the parliament that is responsible, or even the Minister of Women is not responsible for that. They can't be. No single individual is responsible for getting rid of that evil from our society. And all of us are in it together. So the senior deans here, the professors, the Fiji Women Lawyers Association, the Fiji Law Society is represented here as well, so we are very proud to host such distinguished visitors as well. We all need to make sure that we eradicate this problem of gender violence in society. And it seems to me, just seeing everyone that's here, that we're committed to this cause. And it is a cause that is close to my heart. The very first time, at 1975, that's before most of your parents were probably not born. And I remember the powerful women of the Pacific, that's who there was at the time. Amalia Rokotuibuna being another person who was my mentor, in fact. All of us were there in 1975 at the first women's conference that was ever held in the Pacific. and the problems that they discussed and we all discussed and debated